Recently, I was looking up security tips for my Snubs on Security series, and I saw some news about the Canvas educational tool hack. Students' data was stolen, and it got me thinking about how many online accounts we have with data. Many accounts we may forget about or stop using. Now, when it comes to businesses, they call old, unused accounts orphan accounts. And I'm going to use that terminology in this video to explain how these kind of accounts can affect your privacy. Plus, I have some pro tips that can help mitigate that exposure, including a wonderful deal from my channel partner, DeleteMe. What's up, s'mores? I'm Shannon Morse, and welcome back to my channel. To start, do you know where all of your old accounts exist? I certainly don't, but I do remember I had a GeoCities account back in the day. But how many Angel Fire accounts did I make? I made one for like every single anime fandom that I had. I created like Sailor Moon image galleries and stuff. I was part of that big community back when I was a small child, like 12 years old. Anyway, TLDR, I honestly have no idea how many accounts I have. That random shopping site that you used one time back in 2016, maybe you have an old forum account. Oh, I have an old forum account, I just remembered. Do you guys remember Space Ghost? Space Ghost Coast to Coast? Brack? Yeah, I should check and see if I can still, is that site even still up and running still? Okay, anyway, tangent aside, sorry, brain spicy. An old forum account could exist, maybe a food delivery app that you downloaded during the pandemic and you never opened again, old gaming accounts, old social media accounts, travel websites, loyalty programs, AI apps, fitness trackers, smart home apps, this list just keeps on going. So unless the website in question has some sort of data deletion policy, which a lot of them don't, if you haven't signed in for a long period of time and those sites still exist, those sites and your data just kind of sit there forever, or at least until that company deletes everything. So today we're talking about orphan accounts, why they have become a growing cybersecurity problem, and how all of this connects to your digital footprint and your online privacy. Now, there's a recent article that I read over on Hacker News, which discussed how orphan accounts have become a serious issue in enterprise security. So in business environments, orphan accounts are accounts that still exist either within that network or online, even though the employee or the user tied to them no longer actively uses them. Maybe somebody quit the company or got fired, maybe they changed departments, or the account simply got forgotten during an audit. I actually used to work at a bank where I moved from being a teller into working in the credit card processing unit, and I had two separate accounts, and I don't know if they ever deleted the teller account once I moved over to a separate department. Who knows? Now, attackers love these accounts because they often fly under the radar. Nobody is monitoring them, nobody's updating them. Sometimes they still have access to sensitive systems or data, but while reading this article, I realized that consumers basically create orphan accounts constantly. We're doing literally the same thing. Think about how many accounts you've made over the last 10 or 15 years. We could have old Adobe accounts, maybe an old Dropbox account that's been around for a really long time, old Xbox or PlayStation logins, shopping and e-commerce sites that you bought one thing from one time and then kind of forgot that you signed up for that discount on that first purchase, restaurant rewards programs. Have you ever moved to a new town or a new city and you're no longer using the applications for anything from like gas and electricity and Wi-Fi and home internet to different restaurants in the old city that you used to live at? Did you sign up for rewards programs for those and then just kind of forget about them after you moved? Conference Wi-Fi signups, that's a big one. Old dating apps, ancient Yahoo accounts. Do you have an old Neopets account? Did you know that site still exists? I just logged in and I was like, oh my gosh, this is still a thing. And most of these accounts still contain personal information, which can include everything from your name and email and phone number to your old home address or partial payment and billing details, purchase histories, your birthday, your wish lists, all sorts of stuff. That's a lot of information just sitting around attached to accounts that you may never even think about again. Now, one of the biggest risks here is password reuse. And yes, I know, we all know that we're not supposed to reuse passwords, but statistically, people are still doing it. If an old forgotten account gets breached and that same password was used elsewhere, attackers can use credential stuffing attacks to try those credentials across banking sites and emails and shopping or social media, including all those sites that you currently use, especially if you just keep on reusing the password over the course of 10-15 years. Sometimes the danger isn't even the password itself, it's the account recovery options. For example, a lot of orphaned accounts are connected to old email addresses or phone numbers that you may not even have access to anymore. Maybe you changed carriers. Maybe you lost access to an old Gmail account years ago. Maybe you use your college email address for your online accounts and then you graduated and you no longer have that email account. So those abandoned recovery methods can become a huge security weakness as well. And then there's the privacy side of all of this, which honestly might be even creepier. Even if you stop using an account, the information connected to it does not necessarily disappear. Data brokers collect information from public records and marketing databases and breaches, loyalty programs, all sorts of app ecosystems, and all kinds of other sources to build profiles about people online. So every single account that you create leaves behind some sort of digital footprint. Your online activity creates little trails of information going all over the place. Shopping habits and usernames and all those personally identifiable information pieces like your phone and address and connected relatives, your purchasing behavior, even device IDs. You probably have plenty of devices that you've used over the ages, and device IDs can be scooped up as well by data brokers. Advertising profiles, even metadata about where you've lived, what services you used. So even if one day you just stop using a site, that data is still going to circulate. And it's very frustrating. That's one of the reasons that I partner with DeleteMe for today's video. DeleteMe helps remove your personal information from data brokers, people search websites that collect and sell your information online. So while DeleteMe does not delete those orphan accounts themselves, it does help reduce how much of your personal information is publicly circulating across the data broker networks. And that matters because scammers and attackers and even stalkers often use data broker sites to build profiles on targets, and data brokers end up being their first stop to collect information about you. The more exposed information floating around online, the easier it becomes for attackers to piece together phishing campaigns, social engineering attacks, account recovery attempts. Now, I have talked before about how privacy and security often overlap, like constantly, and this is a perfect example of that. The less personal information that's exposed online, the smaller your attack surface becomes, the smaller area of different attacks that somebody could use against you. Now, DeleteMe continuously scans for personal information tied to you, and they submit removal requests on your behalf, which saves a ton of time because doing this manually across dozens or hundreds of sites would honestly become a second job. You also get reports showing what was found, what was removed. I've got my newest report as of last month where they reviewed over 24,000 potential matches. They found 24 that were me, and they saved me over 300 hours of time just searching and removing my personal data from those data broker sites. If you want to check them out, you can use my link at DeleteMe and use the code SNUBS for 20% off. My link is joindeleteme.com/Morse code, and that code will automatically apply in the cart. Now, beyond the data brokers part, there's also another important part of this conversation, actually cleaning up your old accounts. And this is where I started doing my own little digital audit. There are a few steps that you can take to really help when it comes to finding these accounts that you may have forgotten about. Now, this one is really simple, but honestly, it's a very smart hack. One thing that helps a lot is searching your email inbox for phrases like welcome, verify your email, reset your password or reset password, thanks for signing up, sign up, unsubscribe. You may be surprised at how many accounts end up in your email inbox and how often you get marketed to from these websites that you may have signed up for years and years in the past. You should also check your Google, Apple, and Facebook connected app permissions, because a lot of people forget how many services they authorized years ago. Some applications may still have access to portions of your account data even if you haven't opened the app in forever. I found this was really problematic on Facebook accounts. Like, I was doing an audit for a family member for their Facebook account just to see what was going on in their privacy settings. They had a bunch of stuff on their home feed and they just didn't recognize it anymore. They had like 26 connected apps on their Facebook, a few of which they didn't even know what they were, and most of them they didn't even need anymore. So I was just like revoking access for all these different applications and cleaning up their feed in the meantime. And if you find accounts that you no longer use, you can delete those as well. Remove saved payment methods, update reused passwords, change outdated recovery methods, and please use a password manager so every single account has that unique password. Now, you may run into a problem where a website doesn't allow you to delete your information, or they don't have any sort of deletion policy. So if a website doesn't allow you to delete your information, like they require you to have a birth date, or they require you to have an address listed, or they won't let you save any changes if you just try to delete your address or birthday out of your profile, then poison the data with fake information. I use so many different birthdays when I sign up for accounts. Nobody's stopping me and nobody cares. And I have an email address specifically for shopping and e-commerce types of sites, which is not the same as the email address that I use for stuff like my mortgage and my banking websites. So this month, do just a little bit of an investigation into your old orphaned accounts, and if you run an enterprise system or are management of a network, do an audit to determine if there are old orphaned accounts that are no longer being used for your networks. Much of what enterprises do for security, we can also learn from as consumers, and we can use those tips to protect our own selves too. So now I'm curious, what's the oldest online account that you still have access to? Let me know down in the comments, and while you are there, make sure to subscribe for more cybersecurity and privacy videos just like this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye y'all.